Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to try and fix this Bang & Olufsen CD player. This only cost me £60 from eBay, but back in the day, in 1985, this would have set you back £575, which is the equivalent of £1,400 in today's money. Not cheap whatsoever. Now apparently the little disc tray at the front doesn't come out, so it was just sold as untested. So let's unpack it and see what's happening with it. Right, so it definitely looks like it's got power. You can see a little red light here, and the display is working, so that's good news. But there's nothing happening when you go to press open. It's not coming out whatsoever. But I can hear a motor whirring in the background, so I'm thinking at this moment in time that there's going to be possibly a belt issue, or maybe there might be some issue with the cogs or something like that. Now I tried to manually take out the tray just to see if it could be a mechanical thing where it's like all seized up, but unfortunately it does appear to be moving in and out okay, so it doesn't look like it's going to be an issue with something seized up. So now I'm just dismantling it just so we can have a look on the inside. It's unplugged obviously, because otherwise you risk getting an electric shock. And then you slide the cover off. Looking at the lid here, there does seem to be some horrible paint splattered all over it. Doesn't look like it would have left the factory like that, so I'm not sure what's happening there. So on the inside it all looks relatively normal. Can't see anything that looks that bad. There's nothing obviously wrong with it at this stage. Just 4 fuses here. I might as well check them just because they're in front of me. That's okay, that's okay. That one's okay, and also that one is okay as well. So unfortunately it's not the fuses. I didn't think it would be, but it's just worth checking them out. So I'm just spinning it over to have a nosy around the place, and I'm met with a nice little dead fly and also a lump of gooey belt. So at least now I know it is belt driven. I just need to find out where the rest of this belt goes, the original location. So I'm going to strip it down further. So after about 10 or 15 minutes of searching, I eventually find this little wheel down here, and if you look at it, you can see that that was the location of the original belt. I don't know where it went to before or after that, but look at that, look at the goo coming off there. It is completely broken down. So I need to strip it down further because I need to get to see where this belt needs to go, because it has to be wrapped around some other wheel somewhere. So I'll take off this massive cog here, and eventually I do find the motor. So this is the motor here. So the belt needs to go between the gear with all the black goo on it and that motor there. So now what I'm going to do is just start to give it all a good clean up, because I have to remove all that goo before I can fit the new belt. The problem is it's hard to get to, so I'm going to take off both wheels. It will just make it so much easier to do. So I'm just taking off the circlips there, and then each wheel will pop off. Now this will give me much more access to the wheel to enable me to clean it properly. Look at the state of that. So I'm just going to use a wet wipe to begin with, and then after I've got most of it off, I'm going to use some IPA on the rest of it just to get it spotlessly clean. I also need to put some IPA around the motor side as well to get rid of all the remnants of the old belt. While I'm in here, I might as well just give everything else a good clean as well, because everything's just got a layer of dust and dirt on it. It's just like ground in. I don't think this particular thing has been opened up before. Now I'm taking care here to clean around the laser, but not actually on the laser. Later on I will just use a dry cotton bud on that, a Q-tip, just in case. But remember, it's a downward facing laser on this one, so there's going to be no dirt sat on it. And now I need to look through my collection of belts to find one that will fit it. So I want one that is not too loose and not too tight, but is just right, as Goldilocks would say. But it is guesswork because I haven't got the original belt. Now you can buy them from eBay, but they are around £7 or £8. But this is not like a Walkman where the belt would need to be the perfect size. All it's doing is ejecting the tray. So I don't think it's too critical if it was ever so slightly loose or ever so slightly tight. As long as it does its job, I'm going to be happy with that. So I found one that I think looks suitable. Oh, I think that's okay. It's not too tight, not too loose. I think that seems pretty good. So let's pop it back together and let's see what happens now. Now I'm not too sure if these should be aligned up in a certain way, but to begin with I'm just going to put it in, see if it's all moving, and then we'll give it a go. Just need to put the little Allen key grub screw thing back in. And look at that, moving nice and smoothly, and as well as that I can see the belt moving as well. So I just need to put this little thing back in, make sure it's working. Now before I close it up here, let's put some Molykote grease on it. This is like plastic grease, just to grease up all the gears here. I don't want to put too much on, definitely keep it away from the belts, but everything that moves I'm just going to put a little bit of grease on just to help it out. There we go, happy with that. Nice mechanism there. Let's pop it back together and give it a test. Right, here we go. Ejecting nicely. And now let's see if it will go back in. Yay, fantastic. So what I have to do now is put a disc in and let's see if it's playing. So with this it has to be an upward facing disc. You put it in the wrong way because this is the downward facing laser. Unfortunately it takes a disc in, but it's not engaging into place. It just goes in and it just stays there. It doesn't turn or do anything. So obviously I must have done something with the alignment of it that's not right. So I take it apart again and I try to realign it this time a bit different, because I noticed that little middle spindle thing, which is actually the magnetic thing that normally sits on top of the disc, remember this is an upside down disc, wasn't moving up or down. So I'm trying to realign it this time to get it all working properly. And now as I turn that, look, can you see the black thing in the middle there? The magnetic thing is actually coming up and down when the disc tray goes all the way in. So I'm confident now that I've got that mechanism back together properly. So let's give it another go now and see what it does. Right, so as you can see it goes in and this time it moves up, but look, it comes straight back out again, which is annoying because I was sure at this stage that I'd fixed it. And also I'm not pressing eject, it's coming out itself, it doesn't want to be in there. So I kept looking at this for probably about the next 20 minutes or so, and eventually I noticed that if you look at this little tray thing here, it seems to be pushed in a lot. It doesn't look nice, does it? It shouldn't come out the factory like that, it's been pulled in too far. And what this means is it's actually turning that micro switch on, so when the disc gets pulled all the way in, it's automatically ejecting because the micro switch is on for the eject. Now when I forcefully pull it out, look, it's spinning perfectly, and as well as that it's registering the track at the front and it looks like it's playing the song. I haven't got any speakers connected, but everything looks good. So I've got an issue with that eject thing at the side there. It's been pulled in too far, which is not good. So now after messing around with it for ages, looking at micro switches and stuff like that, I realised that there's a sort of black bar that runs all the way to the back of the machine, which is purely to do with the flap at the front, not the tray, but the flap that moves up and down. And what's happening is there's a little adjustment screw at the very back, and it's all the bar's a little bit bent, so it's pulling it in too far. So what I have to do is I have to remove the old screw because it's like rusted in place, and I fit it with a new 3mm machine screw, and all I have to do now is get the adjustment perfect. So I'm tweaking the screw, screwing it in and out until I get that front plate lined up perfectly. I think we have it. I think we have it. Excellent. So if you look now, you can see now it's nice and straight, and yet it still allows it to be pushed in, and the micro switch is now not being pulled in. Right, here goes. Let's plug it in. And now let's see what's going to happen. Excellent, it came out nice. Put the disc in, press play. Let's see if it stays out. Fantastic, first time, and it's spinning there. And it's come up with the lights here, and I'm going to press play now. Oh, it's already playing track 1. Right, let's move the camera angle so you can see it. I'll just do handheld. So you can see now it's spinning nice and freely. You can see the lights that come up here is flashing on 1. So now let's go over, press play, and it should go to number 2. And can you see there it's gone to number 2 here, and it's counting down there. Perfect. So it looks like it's working. I haven't connected up anything to the back yet. And the little screw that I was messing with is out the back here. Can you just see it? Just through there now. So you've still got access to it through there. Yeah. So it was quite nice that. So a bit of a mechanical fix as well as the rubber belt as well. So it was quite nice working that out there with the little mechanism here. And how nice is the inside of it? You can tell again it was made to be taken apart and fixed. A lovely, lovely product. So what I'm going to do now is put the cover back on, give it a quick clean even though it looks immaculate already. Might connect up my little Bose speakers to it and see what it sounds like. So now if I go to this one here, lovely mechanism. So there we have it. Let's get it back together. So there we have it, and if you have a look, it's all looking really very good and clean. There's a scratch at the front here by my thumb, and also there's a deep scratch here that goes right into the aluminium there. But apart from that, it is looking good. This thing is very heavy, but yeah, just another quality piece of equipment. So let's get it set up now and finish up the video. So I've been doing the testing on it and it's all testing absolutely fine. I've just plugged in my little Bose speaker into the back here, just via the phono connectors, and it's working fine. So let me just show you it in operation. It is working perfectly. So you can see that slides out there. Everything's nice and clean. I like the fact that you put the disc in the wrong way round as well. Now if you push it in here, it won't start playing automatically. If you press play, it will start playing automatically. So watch this. If you just do that now, it will just go in and then it will just do nothing. Yeah, and then if you press play now, it will then start playing track 1. And it's interesting, when it comes up here, it only goes as far as track 12, but you can go further than that and it comes up with the track number over here. Sorry, up to 14. After that, the arrow will flash here and it will then just show you what track you're on there. So there you go, 1 off 1. And if I was to press display, you can see we're 4 seconds in. And that one is the total time of the CD, 12 seconds in. Yeah, and listen to that. It's lovely. And then we can go on to the next track by just hitting play, and you can see track 2. And now watch. See, 2 off 1, and 3 seconds into the track, and 2 minutes 40 seconds into the CD itself. So it's very simple. Let's go all the way up past 14 so you can see what happens there. You can see every time I press it, it's moving along. 6, 7, 15. See, it's over here now. 16. Yeah, and it will just keep flashing there. Now 62 minutes into the CD, and 16 off CD 1, and 10 seconds into the track. Isn't that lovely? So that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll hopefully see you very shortly. Take care. Bye now.